Attention spans required. One of the reasons why there are so many competing theories of the universe is because the universe is putting out contradictory messages. I believe the universe is engineered to put out contradictory messages by the engineer or engineers of the Technoverse / Cybernetic Universe. Now, for you religious people out there who think that God is just waiting to be discovered, I hate to break the news to you, but God does not want to be discovered. God is hiding if God exists, or the gods are hiding if these gods exist. If God or the gods wanted to be discovered, then they would manifest themselves. And there are no two ways about that. You religious people, you have built yourself castles of air built on a foundation of nothingness, a foundation of zero. And what makes this particularly absurd, you actually claim to know the mind of God. And this includes you cultists out there. You actually have the audacity to claim that you know the mind of God, if God even exists. That is the height of arrogance. And unless you change your evil ways, you are going to usher in Armageddon. And there are no two ways about that. You religious people out there, you need to have some kind of renaissance or reformation, because I think that most of you can't wait for Armageddon. I think that you are holding your breath, and you just can't wait for Armageddon, and you can't wait for some hero with 1,000 faces to come save the world. You need to grow up. One of the biggest failures of the high-dollar physicists / cosmologists is that they have failed to produce any kind of theory that makes any sense to anybody except perhaps their own peers. What they have also failed to do is to come up with a theory that explains our place in the universe. Now, that is why I undertook this project. This project does not contradict any of the world's religions or intelligent design theory. The universe is organized like the internet, which is something I may or may get into later. But the galaxies and the planets are platforms / substrates for organisms that become sentient throughout the universe, as well as for organisms that the sentient organisms depend on for their survival. The planets and living moons are platforms / substrates embedded in the platform / substrate of the fabric of the universe. We have a cybernetic universe, and it is probably some kind of laboratory and control grid, which is something else, again, I might get into later. The galaxies are technology, computer technology, sensor technology, radio technology, and a long list of other technologies. I am focusing on the spiral galaxies in this video, by the way. I have other videos out there that address the non-spiral galaxies. Keywords are electromagnetic rings inside electromagnetic rings. These rings are structured like technology, and this includes DVD drives. The galaxies are basically computer disks. But even the planets, the layers of the planets, are structured like computer equipment, sensor equipment, and antenna equipment. The galaxies and the planets are rotating platforms, data storage mediums of some kind. Even the geochemical composition of the layers of the planets, the moons, not to mention the suns, the galaxies, and so forth, are mere images of the chemical composition of communications equipment, sensor equipment, computer equipment, and the cores that make up the universe are the primary component of the Technoverse. They vary in size and composition, but they all have one thing in common. Most of them are in motion, and they're largely made of metal. And as you can see, the structure of the stars are mere images of the structure of technology that the human race has been developing within the last 50 to 100 years. The stars are antennas, computer nodes, sensor nodes, more or less. The universe is some kind of computational biology and bioinformatics grid, I believe. A biomeomes grid. The universe could damn well be microscopic, but either way, the components of the universe, when you break them down, are mere images of the components of technology. Radar technology, radio technology, particle accelerator technology, computer technology. The galaxies are some kind of cyclotrons / particle accelerators. Earth is some kind of cyclotron inside the cyclotron of the Milky Way galaxy. Earth is a machine inside of a machine. Humans are machines inside these machines, inside the machine of the solar system. The planets are also some kind of accelerators / cyclotrons. Cyclotrons / particle accelerators, they're used by scientists and doctors respectively to produce subatomic particles. They're used for medical imaging and to study the world at the atomic and subatomic level, plus other applications. They're also used to generate powerful electromagnetic fields to protect plasma-facing parts. The magnetic belts of the Earth help protect Earth from the sun's hard radiation. But the universe is made of a system of machines. Machines inside machines. And the stars, they have the equivalent of some kind of dynamos at their cores, which play multiple roles as dynamos. Computer nodes, sensor nodes, antenna nodes. They produce the dipole electromagnetic fields of these heavenly bodies. Electromagnetic fields inside electromagnetic fields inside electromagnetic fields are keywords. The electromagnetic field produced by humans is produced by electrochemical reactions in their body. And as I just noted, the magnetic field produced by the planets and galaxies and suns and so forth are produced by the motions in their cores, largely. I think I'm going to repeat myself with my narration in these images, but I want to make my point clear. The internal and external structure and dynamics, visible and invisible, of the stars are mere images of technology, radar technology, computer technology, sensor technology. Radar is a form of sensor, by the way. The magnetic belts of the planets are magnetic, and they're the equivalent of radar magnetron belts. The convection currents in the cores of the heavenly bodies are mirror images of the resonance cavities and radar magnetron units. The actual cores would be the equivalent of the cathode. Earth is also a cyclotron. We have the cyclotron motion in Earth's magnetic belts, the living planets, moons, and the galaxies. Cyclotrons are particle accelerators. And I think the galaxies might be a fusion of accelerator technology, decelerator technology, computer technology, and a long list of other technologies. But the galaxies are some serious pieces of scientific and industrial machinery. They are real pieces of work. We have a system of machines inside machines inside machines. I have other videos out there, and I've made some serious mistakes, just probably like I'm making in this one too, but the cores I will obsess on. They rotate, most of them. They produce electromagnetic fields. They're the equivalent of radar cathodes. They're belts, the equivalent of radar magnetron belts. I just can't help but stream these images because all they do, I think, is reinforce my technoverse theory. But anyway you analyze the interiors, the planets, the suns, you will see technology. Any way you analyze the exteriors of these heavenly bodies, you will also see technology. So most of these images can speak for themselves, but the technological nature of the universe is partially hidden beneath quadrillions and quadrillions and quadrillions of megatons of dirt and water and rock and ice and so forth. The technological nature of the universe is also hidden by the fact that these technologies are so large and abstract that we don't even recognize them as technology. But technology is everywhere. It's buried beneath your feet. It's above your head in the stars at night. It's inside of you. The electromagnetic field produced by the Earth is probably picking up information on the organisms on the Earth and transmitting this information via Earth's magnetic field lines out into the solar system. I believe it is very likely that the sentient organisms throughout the universe are being scanned and analyzed and computed from all different directions, upside down and backwards. They might even be remote controlled by extraterrestrials because the technology is here, as we can see, for that kind of control. The sun is a valuable component. The suns, I think, are some kind of routers, plasma routers. Antennas, essentially. The suns are just another set of antennas. The electromagnetic field produced by the sun is radiating out omnidirectionally. Just like an antenna, it's engulfing all the planets in the solar system. They call it the interplanetary electromagnetic field. The sun is a plasma antenna. The motions of the sun's core combined with the motions of the plasma function kind of like radar magnetrons, which produce electromagnetic fields. I included these principles of radar and sensors just for fun. But the Earth is picking up information. The sun is probably relaying this information. But there is definitely a relationship between the Earth and the sun and the organisms inside their electromagnetic fields. The solar system is a series of radio transceiver antennas. The planets are antennas. The suns are antennas. The suns are plasma antennas. The planets and the moons are antennas with metal elements. But you can see the planets are antenna elements inside the antenna of the sun. Antennas inside antennas. The technology that makes up the cybernetic universe is absolutely exquisite. But the solar system is some kind of radio transceiver unit, satellite, something or another relay unit. The suns play a valuable role. And Nikolai Copernicus was onto something when he wrote his book on the revolution of the heavenly spheres. I'm picking up where he left off, sorta, kinda. But even the distribution of the local groups of galaxies are mere images of the distribution of a satellite relay. The galaxies themselves are antennas. Plasma antennas, largely, with metal elements as well. But the universe is some kind of computational biology, bioinformatics grid. The universe is also a cybernetic control system. The universe is some kind of gigantic wireless computer sensor, telecommunications, data mining, and fusion grid. In the early 2000s is when I had my Cybernetic Universe epiphany, and this in part included the epiphany that the cores of most of the heavenly bodies were technology, including sensor technology, radar technology, computer technology. And recently I found this magazine cover from Scientific American from 2004. So this supports my cybernetic universe theory, and from this we can deduce that the rest of the universe is also technology, not just black holes, but the rest of the universe, including the cores of the planets, the suns, including the planets themselves, the suns themselves, the galaxies. They are all technology. By golly, let's have black hole computers. I think black holes are some kind of computer chip, CPUs. They are pulling in information. And that's not even half of it. But there's a black hole at the heart of the Milky Way, and all other galaxies, supposedly. And there's quite a large number of spherical computers out there. But the cores of the galaxies and the planets play multiple roles: computer cores, sensor cores, radar cores, antenna cores. They produce very complex electromagnetic fields. They're pulling in information on the organisms within their respective domains, I believe. Now the sun, it may not be a computer, but it is some kind of it is an antenna, and it is a radar unit. This system of electromagnetic fields inside electromagnetic fields is the same dynamic as a source relay destination system. Humans are just another antenna. Our brain is just another antenna, by the way. Our organs are also antennas. They each produce their own electromagnetic field. Humans are machines, which is something I will get into later, but humans produce electromagnetic fields. The DNA molecules in our bodies also produce electromagnetic fields and are the equivalent helical/spiral transceiver antennas. DNA molecules are also the equivalent of computer code. The base pairs of DNA are reducible to binary code, which is computer code. But we exist inside the equivalent of the radio transceiver unit of the Milky Way. And the Milky Way is also a mirror image of this scary image right here. If the Milky Way is harvesting electromagnetic radiation, then that means that the electromagnetic radiation generated by our bodies is being picked up and analyzed by somebody or something somewhere. In the meantime, spiral galaxies are the equivalent of planar spiral microfluidic biosensors. These things have many applications, as you can see with your own eyes. There's also a theory out there called the superfluid vacuum theory. Essentially says that our universe is immersed or subsumed in fluid. But anyways, the resemblances that you see here are uncanny. The comparisons between antenna technology, sensor technology, and so forth are uncanny. The rings of the galaxies, as you can see, they're no different than the rings of spiral biosensors. The distribution of the stars in the rings of the galaxies, as well as the distribution of black holes. Now, some microfluidic biosensors are for the separation of particles, stem cells, and so forth and so forth. Now, supposedly black holes are orifices or portals, and I am not going to wax long and hard about this, but black holes are also some kind of antennas. They're pulling in information. We've already discussed their role as computers, but black holes are some kind of strange space-time antennas. The gravitational and electromagnetic fields of black holes are radiating outward omnidirectionally, and they're pulling in anything within their grasp, including electromagnetic and gravitational information. I suspect that the concentric gravitational field produced by suns, the planets and moons and so forth are also some kind of crazy antennas. Black holes are fusions of technology, just like the rest of the stars. A lot of these images are probably copyrighted. But the forces of gravity probably carry information. The forces of electromagnetism definitely carry information. They can also store information. We have a system of antennas inside antennas inside antennas. The suns play important roles as just another set of antennas. Each and every sun might also be a radio transceiver unit unto itself. But the solar systems are antennas, part of our system of antennas inside antennas, inside antennas, inside antennas. And these antennas harvest information. But the black holes play multiple roles I think I'm obsessing on this. Black holes are computers, CPUs, and the black hole at the heart of the Milky Way is a gigantic CPU, more than likely, that is pulling in information and putting this information out somewhere else. But the cores of the galaxies play multiple roles, just like the cores of the rest of the heavenly bodies. This includes the roles of antennas. Everything in the universe is an antenna, including atoms. I think atoms are probably also recording everything that goes on around them. The local groups of galaxies, the solar systems, are similar. Their central node are also some kind of relay. The solar systems and the local groups of galaxies, radio networks, sensor networks, computer networks. The solar systems and the local group of galaxies are pieces of technology that defy the imagination. They are fusions of technology, communications technology, sensor technology, computer technology. Any way you analyze the clusters of galaxies in the solar systems, you will see networks of technology. They're organized into networks, and there is no two ways about that. Even the layers, as well as the sequence of the layers, the chemical composition of the layers, and just the external appearances combined with the motions of the layers render the galaxies mirror images of technology. And this includes computer disks. The stars and planets and organisms therein are organized like magnetic information on these disks. This includes the structure of the planets themselves. They're basically some kind of storage device. The planets, the galaxies, and so forth are storage devices. They are mediums. One of the reasons why God or the gods, if such things exist, are hiding is because knowledge of their existence would change the behavior of the human race. We are some kind of experiments, and that's not even half of it. Even the layers of the planets and living moons, plus the sequence of the layers, combined with their electromagnetically active cores, combined with the dynamics of the sun, render the planets, the living moons, some kind of optical / photonic / magnetic drives, more than likely, fused with biodisk drives. The outer planets, which I'm not going to go into right now, would probably be the optical pickup units. The solar systems are fusions of technology. The same thing could be said about the planets and living moons. And the layers and the geochemical composition of the layers combined with the electromagnetic activity of these layers basically render these heavenly bodies hardcore sensor equipment, computer equipment, communications equipment. Planet Earth is probably picking up information, and the moon used to produce an electromagnetic field millions of years ago. The universe is a piece of technology, and it's probably getting old and breaking down here and there, getting smashed up by asteroids and planetary collisions and that sort of thing. But the suns, as I've already noted, play a very significant role. The suns could be any kind of technology that you could shake a stick at that uses hard radiation, as well as many forms of soft radiation. The planets are probably optical pickup units, the outer planets. But humans, I believe, are being scanned and analyzed inside out, upside down, and backwards from all different directions by multiple forms of technology. And the sun is some kind of optical read-write head, photonic read-write head. Bearing in mind that DNA mutates in the UV rays. DNA is more or less structurally identical to computer code, that is, binary code. But the suns play multiple roles. In the universe is some kind of gigantic spectroscope made of zillions and zillions of spectroscopes, whose sun is the primary light source. There are multiple forms of spectrography out there, and this includes the spectrographs of quadrillions of eyes of organisms throughout the Technoverse. But the outer planets, some of them the more obvious ones with the luminous atmospheres and the big rings, are probably optical pickup units, reflector units, deflector dishes, and so forth and so forth. The photons do bounce around inside the solar system off the planets and the moons and so forth. And this is a mirror image of spectrographic equipment. The chemical composition of the atmospheres of the gas giants like Uranus and Saturn and so forth are probably mirror images of the chemical composition of certain types of spectrographic deflector dishes or optical pickup dishes, sensors, analyzers. I think you get the message of what I'm getting at. And the chemical composition of the atmospheres of the Earth is mirror images. So chemical tracers and contrasting agents. But there are some specific pieces of technology that I think are pretty interesting, which brings us back to Earth's magnetic belts. Earth is some kind of part of a electromagnetic flux gate sensor, bearing in mind that humans produce electromagnetic flux.
These pieces of technology are called optical magnetic resonator spectroscope microspheres. This is a laser magnetic MRI, by the way, and bearing in mind that Earth's rings are magnetic. But anyways, there are a long list of spherical biosensors.
But humans are transceiver units. Earth is a transceiver unit. The galaxies are transceiver units and so forth and so forth. Our organs, the same thing. The system of electromagnetic fields inside electromagnetic fields is part of a piece of technology that defies the imagination. And humans are machines. Our senses are the equivalent of optical sensors, audio sensors, tactile sensors, and so forth. Humans, we are lubricated, we produce electricity, our bodies are made of metals of the same types used to make robots and androids, and so forth and so forth. We produce our own unique electromagnetic signatures. In fact, all machines, including cell phones, TVs, motor vehicles, you name it, produce their own electromagnetic signatures. Earth is a machine. It's some kind of dielectric microsphere biosensor fused with computer technology. The structure of the Earth is a mirror image of some biosensors, spherical biosensors, which are more or less mirror images of spherical antennas. Earth is a fusion of technology, including antenna technology. The same thing could be said about the structure of the universe at large when you look at it from this perspective as a gigantic ball. The layers of this ball are mirror images of antenna equipment. Same thing with asteroids and comets, I'm sure. They all produce electromagnetic fields. I'm going to wrap this video up by saying that the relationship between the electromagnetic field of the Milky Way galaxy, its core, the electromagnetic field produced by the Earth, the Sun, and the human brain, is part of a source relay destination system and part of a piece of technology that, if you watch some of my other videos, you might become familiar with.
If you like this video, give it the thumbs up and leave questions or comments.